Welcome to Peter Legge Podcast, where you're empowered to lead, inspire, and influence.
My guest this morning is a dear friend. You've been on that board for 27 years, Surrey Border Trade as the CEO. Is that right, Anita?
Yes.
Is Anita Huberman, who probably needs no introduction, as she is so active in the community and throughout the province. So welcome, Anita. Good to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Peter.
You just told me while we're setting up that your staff, you've just reopened your office and your staff are coming back in the next few days. Tell me, what are the three biggest issues that are facing the Surrey Border Trade today, given this pandemic and how it's affecting businesses?
Well, like any business or organization, we're facing similar challenges related to how to move forward in an economic environment that is really uncertain in the future. So in terms of revenue, in terms of service delivery, in terms of innovating that service delivery, we have an unprecedented economic circumstance where we have an opportunity to provide better outcomes for our clients and also for our staff. But certainly the third piece is around health and safety, making sure that not only our workers, my staff, my volunteers, but also our in-person visitors are going to be safe when we're serving clients at the Surrey Board of Trade.
So how do you deal? Obviously, we can't do the lunches that you've done over the years every month and what have you. But how do you deal with issues sort of like the RCMP police force versus the Surrey police force? Do you get involved with that? Is that
So first of all, the Surrey
something that you take a position on, or are you neutral on it, or what happened?
So, Peter, as you know, the mandate of any Board of Trade Chamber of Commerce is to support business and bring business into the city. When we closed our office in the pandemic in mid-March, but all of the staff were working from home. And we continue to be that advocacy agent to instigate change for business and for Surrey. And Surrey is going to be the largest city in British Columbia. And so the issues related to public safety do matter to business because Surrey does have the largest public safety RCMP force within Canada. It does affect any transition related to public safety, Peter, affects our ability to support business and bring business into the city. So our position at the Surrey Board of Trade is to keep the Surrey RCMP and to ensure that we are harnessing our financial and human resources towards economic recovery, towards job creation. And public safety is about mental health supports, youth supports, and something I know, Peter, that you are passionate about as well.
So when is there a final decision being made on this, or is that yet to be made on whether it's the RCMP or the Surrey? Is that still up in the air, or has it actually been made?
Well, it's in transition. The province has given the city of Surrey the go-ahead to implement a police board. The police board has been implemented. They're going to have their first meeting at the end of this month. And two things that they're going to be responsible for is fiduciary duty. Does this make fiscal sense? And to hire a new police chief. But we know in other instances, like on the East Coast, you can have two police forces existing at the same time until it makes sense to remove one. So this is going to be a long process. We have a civic election in 2 years. We're in the middle of a pandemic with significant budget cuts at the local government, also at the provincial government level. There are some heavy decisions that are going to need to be made.
So can you share 2 or 3 other big decisions and concerns that you have to help deal with for businesses in Surrey?
Well, we've always said that to really move the economy forward, Peter, you need good transportation infrastructure to move our people and to move our goods. And in Surrey, we've been starved of transportation infrastructure investments, and it looks like that's going to continue to be a challenge, especially in the face of the pandemic, in terms of government funding from different levels, provincial and federal. So, I think, that is the number one concern. Uh, Investment into education. A third of our population in Surrey is under the age of 19. We're in a good space to bring business in and to create those good quality jobs. But if we don't have that education right in our own backyard, and again, with government budgets compromised by the pandemic, all of that is going to really compromise our city. We're doing the best that we can. We have a lot going for us in terms of being that diverse industry base in Surrey, but we do need that partnership with government.
I had a good opportunity that I needed to go to the BC Cancer at the Surrey Memorial Hospital. Now, I'm okay. The service I got was absolutely exceptional. My only observation was that if you're going to keep growing as a community, you need to do something with that hospital. Is there any plan that you're behind that to expand the Surrey Memorial Hospital?
Well, actually, there is a new hospital that is going to be built as promised by the BC government in the Cloverdale area of Surrey. So right now, with a population of 580,000, we're growing by 1,400 people a month. We really only have one hospital serving our great city. We have Peace Arch Hospital as well in White Rock, South Surrey. But we really needed that additional hospital. So we're working with the Premier, the Minister of Health, being very supportive and looking at new and creative ways to build that hospital faster. I'm on the Premier's Economic Recovery Task Force. And absolutely, we need those healthcare investments. But Peter, we need to take a look at healthcare from a different paradigm, especially as we're looking at this pandemic. It's about primary care centers. It's about making sure that we ourselves are taking care of ourselves, that prevention, so we don't have to go into the hospital. But in Surrey, we do need that additional hospital infrastructure for a population of our size.
And you're saying you're at 580,000, I think you said just a minute ago. And what do you think that could grow to in the next 5 years? And how would that affect the moving of this hospital forward faster?
Well,
the growing of a new hospital or adding to it?
Well, yeah, I mean, Surrey's going to surpass Vancouver's population at least by 2040. If not
Wow.
sooner, given that we are growing by 1,400 people a month. And so the Premier, I was part of the announcement in downtown Surrey. We're building a downtown from ground zero, essentially. He has committed to building Surrey as the next downtown of British Columbia. So that's with Simon Fraser University, that's with our Health and Technology District, that's with a digital technology stream, advanced manufacturing. And the fact that Surrey is part of the Premier's Economic Recovery Task Force speaks to the commitment by the BC government in ensuring that new hospital is going to be in place. That Surrey and the South Fraser economic region is a priority for British Columbia.
Is the new Pattullo Bridge, is that still moving forward today?
Yes, so it is expected.
And when,
It is expected, despite pandemic challenges, to be built by 2023. And so right now there is a request for proposals out for labor human capital to build that bridge. It is a commitment by the province. It is a dying bridge. It's absolutely needed. Unfortunately, it's going to be built and opened with 4 lanes, not 6 lanes. But absolutely, we do expect it to open.
When I first came to Canada, when I was 12 years old on a Greyhound bus all the way from New York through to Seattle and up, the very first bridge that the bus driver said, in about 5 minutes, Peter, you will meet your father. I had not seen him for over a year. We crossed the Pattullo Bridge. And so I have fond memories of it. But you're right. It's a 50-year-old bridge?
More. I believe it's close to 70.
More. Wow. I'm surprised it's still standing. What else are you doing as a chamber? What are you focusing on yourself for the next few years, other than what we've just talked about?
Well, very quickly, we had to transition to online digital technology to interact with our members, our business community, our government, our stakeholders. And so we hosted Canada's first Economic Recovery Summit at the end of June. And that is because we wanted to ensure that we're connecting all of the stakeholders to ensure that Surrey's economic recovery, with collaboration, with digital technology, with government partnerships, was front and center. So we had Canada's digital supercluster involved. We had the universities involved. We had different industry sectors involved to really start that dialogue and conversation about where we needed to go given the pandemic. And so now we have a lot of engagement, a lot of dialogue, but now the onus, the leadership is to the Board of Trade in Surrey to ensure that we're instigating short-term, long-term actions. And Simon Fraser University, Kwantlen Polytechnic University, Canada's digital supercluster, and all of our industry sectors in Surrey are collaborating towards a future that is connected through technology towards different education platforms. So you're going to see a lot of different elements. You know, the president of the World Health Organization said in early April that it is going to be the Board of Trade, Chamber of Commerce, Industry that is going to lead us through this pandemic. It's going to lead business through this pandemic. And we are a global organization, and we're trying to be leaders, city builders, collaborators, and you're going to see that coming out of this pandemic.
Well, I'm glad you're leading for 27 years the Surrey Border Trade. You do such a great job, and it's good to be considered one of your friends, and Canada-wide is great to be a partner with.
Thank you for listening to Peter Legge Podcast. If you'd like to support this podcast, please log on to peterlegge.com.